Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Tuesday the 13th of July 2021 and we're carrying out our regular morning update on the news, financials and gold and silver prices. We can see that today everything is up. Equities, dollar, oil, gold and silver. So let's take a look. Well, it's a glorious Tuesday morning, 13th of July. Welcome one and all. Let's go straight to the news of the day. And Johnson's UK virus gamble sparks fears and unease as cases grow. England faces up to 200 daily COVID deaths when peak hits. Yes, some of the restrictions previously imposed have now been removed or will have been removed later this week, especially wearing of masks on public transport, and there is some significant concern that basically people have the ability to choose. So you can have a situation whereby some people will wear masks, other people won't, no restrictions either way. Whilst we're very much in favour of choice, to some degree we can see conflict, because those who believe that mask wearing is essential will take umbrage against those who believe that it isn't. So we can imagine some skirmishes occurring. Bitcoin miners navigate extreme world of crypto power hunting. A crypto crackdown sent them in search of cheaper, greener power sources. Obviously, a lot of this is to do with China, but not just China now. Google fined $593 million by French antitrust agency. We mentioned yesterday's update. ECB's Lagarde foresees July policy shift, 2022 transition. And perhaps the most prominent, futures steady ahead of earnings, inflation data wrap. Let's look at that very quickly. US futures were in holding mode, along with stocks in Europe on Tuesday, as traders awaited key American inflation data and second quarter earnings reports from some of the world's biggest banks, treasuries, and the dollar was steady. Contracts on the S&P 500 edged lower and those on the Nasdaq 100 were little changed. JP Morgan, Chase & Co and Goldman Sachs are reporting on Tuesday. So we're getting a report from two of the largest banks in the United States, along with PepsiCo Inc. Reuters, they've similar publication, except they've focused their headline, Israel changes strategy as Delta variant hits. France fines Google 500 million euros over copyright row, which we just covered. Japan warns of crisis over Taiwan, growing risks from US-China rivalry. Now, why do we look at these headlines? Well, the answer quite simply is that all of these, some of these, and occasionally none of these, will have a bearing on what's happening to the value of the dollar, the stock market, gold and silver prices. So it's worth every day spending, even if it's only 2 or 3 minutes, looking at the headlines to see what is actually occurring. Looking in the UK, on the BBC, MPs to vote on cut to UK foreign aid budget. I think that's broadly the main information, certainly as far as affecting markets is concerned in the United States. This is an interesting story. We won't go into it. It's just political, but Texas Democrats flee state to stop Republican vote. This is where the elected Democrats in Texas have jumped in a plane. I think they've traveled to Washington because their legislature's attempting to put a vote through, which is on a special majority vote, not a plain majority vote. And by them not being in the state means the vote cannot go ahead because a quorum is not achieved. However, the Republicans have the power to insist that they return back and have said that they will use whatever power and force is necessary to do so. So that'll be quite interesting, if nothing else. Top US general in Afghanistan steps down. And we mentioned yesterday, Branson rockets to the edge of space. On the business front, banks emerging from pandemic resilient. The latest Bank of England report into financial risk says consumers and firms will still need support. Springtime bounce back lifts UK high streets. High street sales from April to June grew at the fastest pace on record, industry figures indicate. This is in the United Kingdom now. India online retail giant Flipkart raises $3.6 billion. Musk rather hates being Tesla boss. He says he prefers spending time on designing and engineering. What we're finding through this pandemic is that a number of businesses, and unfortunately generally larger businesses, have, and obviously online ones in particular, have fared quite well. Whereas traditional mom and pop businesses, so very many have gone to the wall. And those that haven't are virtually there anyway. What's happening to the dollar? It's up. It's at 92.28. Only very marginally up, but up nevertheless. Oil prices up $0.50. So WTI crude $74.61 and Brent crude $75.69. Equity markets yesterday in the United States did well. Up on average 0.3%. Again now approaching all-time highs. Overnight, Asia Pacific also up between 0.5% and 1.5%. And now in the UK, as we're open only a short time, but open nevertheless, we can see that we're all marginally down. Although the FTSE is marginally up. That's the one in the United Kingdom. So we've mentioned two of the biggest banks reporting today, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. In terms of information, this is the key one. Consumer Price Index, core CPI. This is against which the inflation rate measured. And we have the federal budget and the NFIB Small Business Index. And then tomorrow, the Producer Price Index, and then Thursday and Friday, quite a lot of data. So what's happening to gold? Well, gold is up. Up $6. It's above 1,800, holding above it. And it's at 1,809, though it did dip to 1,792. No, look, you can see on the chart that dip there, which was yesterday at about 3 o'clock our time, GMT +1, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Looking at silver, that too is up, which is good news and is above the 26. That 26 level is quite crucial because, quite frankly, if it holds below it for any length of time, it's going down to $25. It did dip again yesterday about the same time, or maybe an hour earlier before gold, or 2 hours earlier before gold. It dipped to 25.89 and has been as high as 26.37. Looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is for the day, let's have a quick glance, is up $587. It's been as high as 34,606 and as low as 33,629. Now that's where we are in terms of news. We're not going into the technicals for gold and silver because, quite frankly, they are little changed from what we announced on the weekend. Talking about things that we're announcing, we're noticing again that our videos are perhaps not gaining as much attention as we would like. That could be our fault. It could be that we're not being promoted, or it could be no one's interested. So we've got, is the housing bubble about to burst? That's quite an important video, quite frankly, because so many people are basing their financial decisions on housing. Don't miss that one. Will Bitcoin crypto replace gold and silver as money? This is where Greg and I had a very long discussion, so I can imagine why not that many people listened to it. It was over 24 minutes. And our morning update, which we published yesterday, which really got the lowest viewership, I think, for our morning update ever. Hopefully that's an anomaly. In any case, we've put links to each of these below. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And we're hoping the sun will continue to shine. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't done so, please do subscribe to the channel and press the bell sign so you're notified of our videos as and when they're published. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up. It all helps the YouTube algorithm and allows our videos to reach more people. And if you have any comments to make, please do place them below. We read every one. We may not answer every one, but rest assured they're not ignored. Thank you once again. Disclaimer. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.